The 2026 Indonesian horror film Dusun Mayit, which translates to The Village of the Diseased, pulls its terrifying premise directly from local soil. The movie is tightly anchored in the real-world urban legends of Hawa Island's Velarang Mountain, a looming peak with a very dark reputation. The story follows four friends taking one final college hike together. They are carrying a lot of heavy emotional baggage up the slope. Aryo is actively grieving the recent loss of his mother, pushing away his family. His best friend Raka, having grown up as an orphan, finds his only real solace out here in nature. Before they even start their ascent, the local registration officer and village elders lay out an incredibly rigid set of rules. Hikers must never leave the trail. They have to show absolute respect to the mountain spirits, and under no circumstances are they to go anywhere near the mysterious lake near the summit. Velarang Mountain is an active, sacred space. The local elders know that stepping onto the mountain means submitting to ancient entities, and walking back down alive depends entirely on strict obedience to their rules. The entire ecosystem breaks down in a single moment of human arrogance. One of the friends, Nita, spots a sacred offering resting near the path. Annoyed and skeptical, she deliberately kicks it out of the way. The retaliation is immediate. A voice right beside Nita's ear whispers a curse in Havanese, the complex regional dialect of the island. The spirit tells her, "Those who come here will forget their way home." The curse physically strips away Nita's senses. Deeply disoriented, she begins wandering blindly off the safe trail, stumbling right through the tree line until she slips and plunges directly into the forbidden lake. There is no delayed reaction or gradual buildup of tension here. The mountain's folklore operates on immediate cause and effect. A single act of disrespect instantly triggers a supernatural mechanism that reaches out and claims the trespasser. Her friends manage to drag Nita out of the water, but her body quickly turns a striking shade of blue. They assume it's severe hypothermia, but she is being actively possessed by the mountain deity. They pack up to carry her back to civilization, only to realize the trail is broken. No matter how far down they hike, they find themselves looping back to the exact same clearing. They are making zero downward progress. Following a sudden chorus of strange voices, the group wanders into a bustling, hallucinatory marketplace. The entities buying and selling goods have rotting flesh peeling from their faces, and a woman in the adjacent washroom is drinking blood directly from her own wounds. This diagram maps out the structural reality of their situation. This marketplace is an interdimensional gateway, sitting directly between the human realm at the top of the mountain and a dark void at the bottom, known as the dead realm. By walking into that market, they crossed the threshold. As they push past the stalls and the rotting entities, the pathway behind them disappears. Their connection to the physical world is permanently severed. The local folklore treats the afterlife as a highly structured trap. It is a rigid, inescapable geography designed specifically to swallow anyone who shows disrespect. At the very bottom lies Dusun Mayit, the village of the diseased. Here, the group meets a man named Surup. He fell into the lake a year prior, but retained a sliver of humanity to protect his daughter, Amari, from the surrounding spirits. This ledger tracks the grim mechanics keeping Dusun Mayit intact. The vengeful spirits inhabiting the village must provide an annual quota of exactly 21 human sacrifices to the mountain deity. If they fail to deliver, their realm will cease to exist. Surup explains the immediate math problem threatening the group. His daughter Amari has already been marked as the 20th sacrifice. Nita, carrying the mountain deity's possession, is marked as the 21st, locking in the final two spots. In the dead realm, these hikers lose agency. They become literal commodities required to balance a lethal supernatural ledger. As night falls over the village, the dead awaken simultaneously. The spirits flood the forest in a coordinated hunt, desperate to claim their marked sacrifices before the sun rises. The group scrambles through the dark, eventually barricading themselves deep inside a rock cave, while the dead villagers claw at the entrance. Inside the cave, they hit a terrifying realization. They cannot fight their way past the horde. The mountain's mathematical quota of 21 lives is a hard rule of this reality, and the realm will not let them leave until the debt is paid. Escaping the dead realm requires a strict transactional payment. Physical endurance and violence mean nothing against a ledger that demands souls. Raka breaks the stalemate. The orphan who loved nature above all else willingly steps out of the cave, surrendering himself to the spirits. He dies to become the 20th sacrifice, buying his friends the few precious minutes they need. Simultaneously, Surap steps up to clear the final debt. To save his daughter and the rest of the hikers, he surrenders his last remaining shred of humanity to the mountain deity, willingly taking the 21st slot on the ledger. The math is complete. With the quota met, the supernatural debt clears instantly. Aryo, Uni, Nita, and Amari awaken back in the human realm with the morning sun, where search and rescue teams finally locate them. The trauma reshapes Aryo. Weeks later, he returns to the edge of the mountain to place a memorial for Raka. The bitterness he held over his mother's death is gone, replaced by a deep appreciation for the life his best friend bought for him. Dusan Mayit uses its terrifying geography to prove a simple point. Humanity's survival against ancient, powerful forces is only bought through absolute reverence for nature and the selfless sacrifices of those we lose along the way.